So yesterday I had no power in my home all day, and we got in the car and we headed off to a little town just up north from where I am located. And my angels have told me that I'm not allowed to go past this certain beach. So I didn't, not allowed. And I said, is that portal there still absorbing dense frequency into it, into the land? And they said yes, not as much as before, but yes. And then one of the other reasons why they didn't want me there was there's Native American energy there, and they just thought it was best that I didn't go traipsing around in that area. So I said, okay, sounds good. We'll keep to this beach. And but as we drove along to the beach, we have to go on winding roads through the forest, along the ocean. It's really beautiful, but you're out there. And so on our way going to the beach, we came through this wall of energy. And as soon as I went through this wall of energy, I knew the car was full, and it was Native American energies just welcoming me to the area, and asking us to enjoy ourselves. And so we just went and parked at the beach where I'm allowed to be, and we started to head down. The veil felt very thin yesterday. And I know there's a lot of clearing taking place on Earth. I know the veil is going to continue to thin, but in my mind, I'm thinking, am I going to be able to handle this like years down the road? This veil thinning, where spirit can come up and chat with you anytime it wants. No. So as we were heading down to the beach, I just felt very greeted by the Native Americans. Yeah, last night I couldn't sleep all that well either. It's a hard time to sleep when the energy is peaked so high. We have a lot of clearing going on, and also, the veil's very thin. So yesterday was a chat-a-thon between myself and so many. If you guys watch this right back from the very beginning, you'll hear what I mean by that. Had a little surprise visit in the very start of our journey yesterday, and my radio was turned on all by itself. So you might want to listen to that. Anyways, so I'm walking down the beach. I sit down on the beach, and I've just got a large amount of Native American energies behind me, predominantly male. And so I wrote down what they wanted me to hear, and I thought I'd read that off today so you guys can hear it. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask away. Okay, so the first thing is they were welcoming us the whole way down. Just very happy that I was there. They know when you can communicate with spirit, and when they know that, then they come and they're happy because they know you can hear them and feel them. A lot of people say, oh, well, clairsentience is great, but I'd like to hear them. I want to hear them. I want to see them. But there's nothing like clairsentience. Is like you feel it, and there's it, and somebody can tell you what they're hearing, somebody can tell you what they're seeing, but when you feel it through your body, like that, to me, is one of the best clairs. And you might hear others say otherwise, but to me, clairsentience is awesome. And you can always practice yes and no's in your body, and then you develop and branch out from there. And that was always my strongest from a long time ago. Okay, so what they wanted to tell me is that these were the shores that they used to walk, and that they would live off the land for nourishment, and they would go into the ocean, and they showed me their vessels and going out and fishing and hunting, and that it was quite difficult at times to live off the land because it wasn't always, food wasn't always readily, or enough of it wasn't there for them to flourish off of. So that's what I was told. And then there were certain things that were introduced to make life easier. And he didn't go into that too much. I don't know if it was, you know, growing some other type of vegetable or what it was, but we didn't go there. But there were certain things to make life easier. And then there were men that came, right? And brought their diseases. And many Native Americans moved away to get away from the illness, and then many perished. And he just gave me this feeling like what was so busy and so populated of an area became very quiet. There weren't many of them around at that point. And he says, Kristen, look at what has been done to the earth globally. And he says that we are starting to move in a different direction, and this will soon be a paradise once again in most areas globally. So that's the turn that we're making now, and that is what I channeled from him. Yeah, and it was really cool. He was showing me them going out into their vessels and going off and fishing and hunting. It was wild. And he said it was pretty. He goes, if we look back in time and we had a look at, these timelines, it could be very difficult at times to survive. I was like, whew. So the other message that wanted to come through a little bit after this one was it's important for those who are ready to change to branch out and learn and grow from others while keeping their traditions and cultural heritage, okay? Showing others it's okay to be different and share their energy with others. So he was really wanting to channel a message for those in the Native American communities that it's okay to branch off, and if you're ready for change, to go off and do that. And it's also important to share with others your energy and that it's okay to be different, okay? And with others, and show the world that being different is a good thing. Just like Spirit would recommend that for those who have a different sexual preference or are different in any other way, okay? And to share that with the world, and that they just absolutely love that, okay? And I've heard that from the angels, but now I'm hearing it from these souls, okay, in this area. For those who wish to branch out of any community that they've been raised in, this will bring about freedom, such as financial freedom, time freedom, just growth, and showing others within their cultural community that they can do the same, and they do not have to continue onward through life emulating their parents and grandparents, family members, ancestors, or lineage, and their way of doing things, okay? So you get to be unique and do things your way. And I just thought that was really wild. Now, he also let me know that he has some other words that he would like to relay. And so I'm just going to let him go ahead and do that. And if you guys have any questions, ask away. Okay? There's many of them there in that region where I went to visit yesterday. The reason why they're there is they're holding the energy, they're holding the space for Mother Earth. And they would like each of us to do the same. Holding the energy and holding this space for Mother Earth. And there are different decisions and choices that we can make in order to stop polluting, or purchasing things that are reusable instead of used one time and then they float around in the ocean. or they are, on the ground and they're just not biodegradable, right? He's even talking about if we think of a way of doing something that's better for the earth and for our community, that he highly recommends that we do it and step forward and produce what needs to be produced in order to help Mother Earth. So if you can think of a way to help her, he highly recommends that you do, and then try to step forward and introduce and implement your ideas and your feedback and your possibly items that you created for the rest of society. He wants to talk about our mindset in the world. It can be unhealthy at times. And just like we are working to clean up the Earth's back, we also need to focus on cleaning up our mindset, our minds, our thoughts. And for many, their ego is in the forefront. And as you've heard, he says, as you've heard Kristen say, it's best to try and shift the ego more into the back seat of the car. We don't, yeah, he agrees. He agrees with me, although I've heard this from the angels too. Whereas, people trying to get rid of the ego, well, let's just get rid of it, the ego. But I've learned from the angels, what you resist persists. So we're not here to get rid of anything. We're just here to shift it to the back and bring more of your light to the forefront. Okay? Because sometimes your egoic mind is needed in fight or flight situations, possibly, etc. And, I'm not here to cut it loose entirely. I'm just here to put it in the back seat of the car or maybe in the trunk. He says that telepathy will become more popular in the future. Mediumship will become more set within individuals and communities to share what spirit would like to say and how spirit can help us individually and collectively. And he's really excited and happy about this. Thank you. Okay. All right. Does anybody want to ask him any questions at all? You know what I noticed with their energy yesterday? It was so grounding and so peaceful on such another level. I almost felt like I could nod off in the car because it felt so good. And, their energy is so connected with the earth. And they're not as fragmented in the mind as we are. We were raised differently. We were brought up differently. We were in a different community, different culture. And it's quite different. And there's a lot to be learned by this energy and this mindset. That's what I felt. All right. Any last words? He just is smiling and saying, for us to go on and go forth, being the examples and the beautiful people that we are, to shine brightly and do as he has asked and be the example for many others. Yes. He says we can turn this around more quickly, or society can also drag their heels and make changes more slowly. They're hoping for a faster route. That's why they're here today. But we are the ones to decide what we're going to be doing moving forward. But either way, we will be moving in this new direction here on Earth. Okay. So Kimberly would like to know if she's had past lives as a Native American. You've had a few. They're not talking about hundreds, but you have had select past lives as a Native American. Thumbs up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're asking for the land to be healed in certain locations, and is this working? Yes. I just get yes repeatedly over and over and over again. And they highly recommend that you continue doing that. They're talking about, it's one thing to send the light, send the energy, or ask for healing, but it's also important for us to take action steps to assist the earth herself. Okay. Because there will be many more events and things that will transpire upon her back. They don't wish for us to stay predominantly fixated on what has transpired in the past within the Native American communities, because it's not healthy for us to continuously be fixated on that and to drop our frequency in this direction and focus on this direction and drop our frequency. This is coming from a wise elder female. Okay. And she's off here to the side, and it's very loving and feminine. They want us to stay centrally focused on how we can help the earth now. How can we help the earth now? Okay. And moving forward. Because there will be other things that take place and transpire upon her back. And one of the ways that we can help the residual energy that will be left behind upon her back is by helping her flourish, help the earth flourish, so she can transmute this energy and to be the example so that others are impacted and affected by our own frequencies, and hopefully learn over a lifetime or over a time, and for some over many lifetimes, that we need to make different decisions and behaviors moving forward. They're just talking about, if we think that this is the only time on the earth where things have transpired upon her back, we need to think again. So it's really important for us to hold steady and hold the light here. Really important. In order to bring in more light, to usher in more light, to show others a different way, and hopefully different actions and behaviors will stem from that. He's now talking about certain people being called out and certain things being unveiled. And much of this will be transpiring in the years to come. Thank you. As it is meant to. As it is meant to. Mm-hmm. Okay.